Living in nature is a gentle reminder that healing doesn't happen in a rush. It unfolds with the rhythm of the wind, the patience of the growing trees, and the quiet embrace of the earth. As I drive down these open roads, holding on to my steering wheel, the hum of my tires on gravel and dirt are the only sound existing in my thoughts. The world around me is quiet, except for the wind. This is my escape. The open road, winding endlessly through untamed landscapes, carrying me far from the life I once knew. My mind drifts back, as it often does during these solitary drives. Flashes of my past surface, pain lingering like a shadow, but it no longer consumed me. Instead, it became a companion I have learned to coexist with. I have spent years imprisoned with those memories, but now out here I feel peace. Out here, surrounded by nature's raw beauty, I have found something I thought I had lost forever: peace. My past still lingers, but these open roads have taught me resilience and encourages me to let go. I often think about how far I have come from a life that seemed inescapable to this moment of freedom. The journey itself has been healing. Living in nature, I have realized, isn't just an escape. It is a return to myself. Where are you going? Let's go this way. I found a pretty awesome campsite to set up for a few days, literally in the middle of nowhere. And all this open area with these mountains. I had to drive down a really long dirt road to this area, and then I saw this one random big tree, this random big round tree. As you guys can see, there's no other trees like that in the area. And it obviously looks like this spot was used for camping before, because there's a couple little fire pits, and then the road is, you know, made around the area. So I got lucky, because I probably just drove, I want to say 10 or 11 miles off the main road to find this spot right here. Pretty awesome. And this is what makes me happy. This is definitely the definition of peace and my serenity, because there is nobody around for miles. I don't even hear birds chirping. I just hear nothing but silence. Do you hear that? Silence. This is why I do what I do. This right here is why I do what I do. For the first time in my life, I have found peace out here. Being out in nature removes the world I once knew. It's my sanctuary. But also, when I am out here alone, my thoughts sometimes drift to the life I had left behind. A childhood marked by pain. Years of feeling lonely, unworthy, and unloved. The loss of my father had been a breaking point. His final act, one I can never unsee. And then losing my two best friends. It all leaves me in memories and grief. For years, I had carried it all. A burden so heavy it nearly crushed me. I had to try to outrun it, to bury it, to ignore it, but nothing worked. Until I started traveling and living in nature. Being out here alone in the wild strips away all my distractions. The trees don't ask anything of me, and the mountains, they don't judge. Nature doesn't demand explanations or answers. It simply exists, offering me the space I need to confront my pain and begin to heal. This life, this solitude, is my therapy. I'm not running from my past anymore. I'm facing it, piece by piece, with every step in nature. Out here in the middle of nowhere, I am learning to forgive, to let go, and to find myself again. And people wonder why I do this. You have absolutely no stress, no hardships out here. I mean, yes, things are a little bit more difficult living in the Jeep. The bathroom situation is I'm not going to say it's difficult, but some people wouldn't be able to adjust to that. Living in such a confined little small space. Having to cook, you know, I don't have a full kitchen. I mean, I do have a full kitchen. It's just not inside of a structure. I cook outdoors. Electricity. But it's all things that I've learned to adapt with. I've made things pretty simple for myself, the way that I live in this Jeep. Because I want to try to avoid being stressed out. After doing this for 3 years, though, I wouldn't give it up. I'm a lot happier living inside of a vehicle in the middle of all this right here. Instead of a house in a city. And I do get like cabins or little rentals every once in a while, because I don't want to become feral. That's a joke that I have with some of my friends is, oh, I'm going to become feral. But it's nice to go back and regroup inside of a cabin or some kind of structure every once in a while. Because whereas I do love living in my Jeep and being able to live in the middle of all this right here, sometimes it does get to me though. And so that's when I'll go and rent a cabin or something. But when I rent a cabin to stay in, I always make sure it's in the outdoors like this, in nature, not in a city or anything like that, because I still want to be in this element right here. It was definitely the smartest decision I've ever made, to go live in nature and live like this. I often wonder, since I've been out here on these roads traveling and living in nature, what would my life be like right now? What would I be like right now mentally? Because before I started traveling, all I was doing was trying to distract myself. Trying to distract myself with work and hiking and off-roading. I never was home, ever, except to sleep at nighttime. I'd work sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes 12 hours a day, because I didn't want to be at home. I didn't want to be at home because, well, if you're at home, you're by yourself. And that's when your mind starts racing and thinking about things. And then that's when my depression would kick in. So my way of dealing with it was to keep myself busy. People always looked at me and they knew what I had just went through. But running a bar in Vegas and also being behind the bar, you always had to put a smile on your face and entertain. I used to always tell my bartenders all the time that if you have any problems or you're going through some things, either A, ask for the night off, or B, when you open that front door to the bar, leave your problems outside and walk through that front door with a smile and start entertaining. So I had to do that also. So everybody thought that I was good. Everybody thought that I somehow worked through what I went through. And I didn't. I guess you could say I was a good actor. And so yeah, I often wonder, because I've been on these roads traveling and working on myself and living in nature for 3 years now. And I do wonder probably would have had a mental breakdown eventually. So I needed this. I still need this. I still have my moments. For the first time, I have learned to smile more because I realize how free I feel out here. And in that freedom, I found something I never thought possible. Peace.